midnight giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil.
What up, everybody? Back. We're back. We are back. Happy Monday. What are we doing in here, chat? Enter. Balaji said it right. WTF. What the fuck is everyone talking about? No one's earned a giveaway yet. What's up, Be Creative? Vish, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for being here. Good day, good day, good day. I don't know what they're doing, Creative. I don't know. All right. Obviously, guys, I am sitting in a little bit of a counter trend long on NQ here. What's up, Philippe? Philippe? First pronunciation, second pronunciation. You're going to have to tell me which one's right. But thank you for being here first time in the stream. We will kind of go over a couple things here. What's up, Miggy? Why I'm in this counter long. I am currently in an ES short, so I'm taking a counter trend long on NQ in case we get this retracement back up the ladder. I am looking more from the ES side. Philip. Okay, Philip. Portuguese. Well, if you're a Portugal fan for the World Cup, I'm not sure what your opinions are on old Ronaldo and all the drama again at another major tournament, but love to hear your thoughts on that in the chat. So let me know what you think. But I am in an NQ long. We will go over why that is. All right. No soccer talk, man. No big deal. But why I'm in a counter... Oh, earthquake. Why I'm in a counter trend long on NQ while I'm holding ES shorts. So if you guys are new here, Philip, what I generally look at, right, is when we're here and we're looking at the profile coming in on the day. If you guys looked at my pre-market plan, everything's centered on this strike. If we are over it, I expect us to get up into this range and maybe extend higher. If we are under it, then we can potentially come all the way down here on some extended volatility. But holding this kind of overnight low, if you look at the overnight session, we both Thursday night, which is here, and then obviously Friday night, and then overnight this morning, we kind of held this little range here from 75.25 to 75.10 on ES. I was looking for, okay, if we're holding this same kind of area, are we going to just drift back up to this kind of key balance on the day? So if you look at my notes, not sure why these moved so far over, but kind of the range on the day for my pre-market plan was everything that you see here, right? We had a smaller straddle. If we hold over 75.70, we can go up, but we'll probably revert to it. If we lose it, we can chop around. We would need extended volatility to go lower, right? And then maybe if we don't get that continuation lower, we can get back towards 75.70 here. So I'm already in an ES short on a different account. I want to just maybe take that counter trend long. So that's what I'm in here. It's an eval on this particular account just to see if we get that retracement higher. I am also in an SPX trade that is kind of banking on us drifting back towards that ES strike here, which is a 7,500 strike on SPX. So if we just kind of slowly drift back up there, that is what I would be looking to make money on that fly trade. I get paid on time and chop. So even if we chop around here and then just ultimately drift back closer to it, if we finish in between this kind of 75.55 and 75.70 area on ES, for example, my SPX trade would bank as well. So there you go. Victoria, thanks for joining. Lindsay, Paraguay. Ooh, rough tournament so far, huh? That red card from the new rule was a little wild. So it's a lot on the chart. What's my primary strategy called? Philip, my primary strategy is using what is on here. This is called like the market maker positioning. Okay. So how are market makers holding SPX options and how do they trade ES futures around that? So what I'm looking for is expected behaviors given those positions, and then also what's called like the gamma regime to understand, are we in like a trending market or maybe a little bit of a tighter range mean reversion market, right? So if we know where market makers are positioned, we know how they kind of mechanically have to trade futures based off of where spot price is moving around. So this morning, the whole reason why I said I was looking for reversions back towards 75.70, which is this strike, is because there is something telling me if you're not able to breach this area, any rejections are going to come back down here. And if you get volatility, you know that market makers can assist that move down to kind of a key area. So right now we are seeing kind of that continued selling. We're not getting any buying that can kind of conquer that to get us back higher. We tried here. We tried about right after the London close. We tried to get that extension back higher and then got rejected. So now we are kind of in this lower range. And what I'm going to show you guys here, if I can anyway, we will look at the intraday positioning. What has shifted now since the market open positioning, and see where those things differ and where they are still aligned. So what you see on the chart now is the current intraday positioning. What's changed? Not a lot, right? If anything, it's just reinforcing this kind of key balance here. And if we continue to sell, we're likely to probably go down here towards like 75.15 or so. I would not say that, Philip. No, it is not like VWAP and is not support and resistance. It's support and resistance in the sense of the behaviors of these positions are such that there are expectations of, is it a resistance or support based on where price is at that moment, right? So like right here, you could say that this is now resistance, but there's also something that makes it magnetic, where if we cover this strike, if we kind of hold over 75.50, you would actually expect us to go towards that resistance. Why not staying around 74.65? We could stock Randy. It's just that if we get any kind of buying at all, and even the passage of time right now is saying that you would expect, especially if we cover 75.50, you would expect us to just magnetize up there and kind of get stuck around 75.70 on ES. NQ, I'm expecting NQ to kind of follow the same path. Obviously, I got stopped out there. It is what it is. But if ES goes, NQ should follow. So that's like I said, I'm already in an ES short, but I took that NQ trade thinking, oh, I want to counter long, right? Like I want something to say, if we hold and we reclaim, I can get that drift back towards the ES strike, and NQ could follow. But I will tell you guys, I have been intermediate term bearish for a while now. I have been kind of hinting at that. On these overnight trades, I actually was looking for continuations below this. That was a trade that excited me because I saw the potential to kind of accelerate the lower we went. So if we actually got down here again today, if we actually had the volatility to get down there and extend, you would need that volatility, but like it's ripe for it, right? If we look at VIX, VIX clearly has the potential to break out, and we're kind of almost bull flagging in a way on VIX to get that breakout. The thing is it has to actually happen. So what I'm looking at right now is that, sorry, we're trying to zoom in here a little bit. This is kind of now your dividing line. 75.50 is kind of, if you're over that, you can see the obvious kind of potential for us to just get pinned here at the key balance on the day. If we stay under this, then obviously the conversation shifts. You would expect some continued selling to just maybe go slightly lower to potentially down to like a bigger strike, right? But my base case was that we would just kind of range and drift around and ultimately still come back to this strike. But I'm a little wishy-washy on it now. Best trade of the day was probably this rejection short that got the continuation. I actually did take a long initially this morning on ES, and then I just pivoted a little bit and then kind of watched, ooh, are we getting some selling pressure, and took just a quick short. And now I'm just holding runners in case we get that downside drift. But that's why I was willing to take entertaining counter trades on NQ long if we got the drift move back up on ES towards this spot, right? But right now it's really hard to see anything but kind of rangy chop in this little range that we're in right here on ES. But any breakout, you would think, even just marginal buying pressure would send you back towards 75.70 on ES. But this was kind of all, as you guys can see, or hopefully you can read it. Obviously, this moved a little bit from the pre-market time, but this was all kind of in the plan for the day around, like, everything to me just says we're going to come back to 75.70 at some point. So yeah, rangy chop day. If you look, oh my God, choking on my spit. If you look kind of in the Discord channel, I believe even there, you know, cautious. I think the push higher is a good trade. Holding the 75.70 strike, but has a reversion back towards it, would also be entirely unsurprising. And I said that at like 8:45. And yeah, we reverted right back towards it. We rejected, we came back to it, got some volatility, got your extension selling. Couldn't really get below this spot, likely to drift back up towards it. So we'll see if that continues, right? You're only going to go where volatility takes you on the sell side is what I noted, which is the case, right? Like VIX isn't really spiking, but it's not reverting either. It's just kind of chopping. So you've got some volatility that's kind of keeping you down here. But any shorts that cover, any passive buying or any active buying that shows up, you can see the like where you would go. So really at this point, it's all going to depend on like what is your bias. Do you think we're going to keep selling? Do you think we get some extended volatility? Where are you looking for us to go if you do? What are like the accelerants? And that's kind of where I was looking on the day. Is I placed a very cheap bet on the option side, saying I'll risk $100 or so, thinking that maybe we range and drift, but we ultimately try to finish somewhere in here. And then on the future side, I'm still sitting in a short, thinking maybe we get some continuation. But if I'm going to take a long, I'm going to take it on like MNQ or something to go the other direction, right? So that's kind of, that is what I would summarize my day as looking like. So yeah. Anybody kind of get chopped up this morning? I know Jake kind of had a tough stop out, but just a second here. I gotta respond to this quick. I do think today is a really great case study for why it's so important with regards to having a plan for both directions. I'm in a 10 wide fly, Peter. But if you come in on the day and you kind of have some expectations of like what is important, what are the strikes to hold, you can do that kind of two-way trade. Vish, I think with the straddle just decaying out, I think we're going to get into that spot where the time period is going to start coming into play, and I think it'll probably keep decaying, and I think the case is probably better at this point for continuation down. How much further down is the question? Is it just kind of this 74.50 SPX? Do we just kind of go sideways to slightly down, right? That's about another 20 points. That would probably be the favorable bet right now. But again, the risk of this positioning is that because this whole range between where we are and up is also of the negative variety, any short covering at all, people start taking profits on shorts because they're not actually finishing out the way they want, right? We're in a tight range. We're grinding and chopping sideways. Put holders that are out of the money down here aren't going to benefit. They cover at all. That leads to volatility coming off, which means buying, which means it wouldn't take much to see that potential extension higher beyond the straddle price, right? So you have to have considerations around that as well. So I'm a little ambivalent, right? Like I'm just going to hold my short runners. I'm not like super concerned about anything with price action, and I'm just going to kind of see what happens. You know what I mean? And go from there. All right, let's see here, folks. Why don't we do this? I will trade a little eval action. And we will have a little something to trade. How about? And we'll go from there. Let's see. Caught a long off the initial retest at 75.76. Caught 15 points. With the initial retest, I tried long again, lost profits. Ended up in drawdown with a huge sell-off. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the risk around that strike, is the volatility was always going to tell the story, right? Like everything about today was very thin in the pre-market profile. So if we go look at like how that plan came to be and why I wrote it up the way I did, there wasn't a lot in here to fill you full of confidence that this one strike was going to be like a really strong support. That's why I even said I need to see it proven. And it's also why, because it was so thin up here, if you didn't get that continuation, the risk was always a sell back. And selling through this with some pressure meant that one single strike is not a super strong support by itself. It's a very tenuous, kind of loosey support, right? So in that situation, that's why I was very cautious. I was like, I'm happy to take a long there. We're consolidating under that strike kind of in the overnight. We got a little pop and drop, held kind of in that area, and then we broke back higher. Sorry, my dog just opened the door. Give me a second. So with that, you kind of have to just understand the inherent risk. It's easy to kind of take that initial stab long, but you got to be careful or cognizant of what the risk is. And the fact there wasn't anything to really get stuck into to the upside, you needed to see it continue and really go, meant that it was just ripe for that kind of failure. So I got to keep her out of here. She'll just annoy the hell out of me. She's a boxer, but she's very nosy. So knows how to open doors and knock door handles and all that, but it's just a distraction. We don't want that. All right, let's see here. We will get rid of that. I'm just going to get logged in here, do a little something. And we'll see if we can take this long trade and go from there. Okay, here we are. We're not going to buy 5 minis, but we'll buy a couple. And we'll see if we can get back up this direction. But this is the thesis, guys, that we're just going to chop and maybe get this drift. If we can cover this position, maybe we'll get moving higher. The idea being any kind of short covering, we accelerate to the upside. I'll give myself a stop about 10 points. Knowing this is risky, but if this works, we can see that extension higher. Obviously, we got to cover what I think this kind of 50 area would be an obvious kind of, like I said, dividing line here in the afternoon. It's not a huge position, but at this point, we don't have a lot of active flow. Oh, there we go. Thanks for that heads up, Ray. But this is kind of the idea, right? If you do get any kind of shorts covering because they're like, man, I'm not going in the money, that's going to be buying pressure. You're going to have market makers that shift their hedge as a result. So then you're looking at kind of that just natural drift up to higher if you get that kind of assistance. If not, we can easily sell down this way. It's all kind of been described here. So we're just going to put this on an eval, just kind of see what we get. I will say though, I'm kind of just like naturally very bearish right now. You've just got a lot going on that is not exactly super bullish on like the yen and dollar side of things. Yields start popping again. There's just a lot around inflation and rate hikes and so much that is not like inherently a bullish thing. So we'll see. We are kind of going into that July 4th period where the market tends to want to go, but I do think just today's profile, any bidding at all, any buying at all is just going to want to drift back towards that kind of key balance on the day. That position, as you can see from like when we looked at the pre-market to now, it really has not changed, right? Like this area is just kind of a natural balance. If you were going to tell me everything above is pointing to a spot and says, oh, this should settle here, everything below you is kind of doing the same thing, maybe to a lesser extent, right? Because if you get under here, the shape starts pointing down a little bit, right? This arrow, for example, both sides of this are kind of saying if you're under here, it kind of wants to shove you lower. But if you're over this kind of area, you can kind of see this shape is saying that's a very natural spot to find a balance on the day. So that is the bet I am making right now, is that same as my fly trade for SPX, where I think the afternoon you just kind of passively range around, but you ultimately finish kind of back closer to the opening print. Nobody's going to love it. Bears are going to be pissed. Bulls are going to be pissed. And you kind of finish right back where you started, flat. That, just based on today's profile coming in, was my base case, that ultimately you finish closer to this than you do away from it. And that was just all from reading the tea leaves of the positions, right? Like that wasn't anything special. It was just, here's where the bets were placed on the day on the option side. Here's how market makers have to manage those positions. Add a little sprinkle of time. You kind of get that going there. Lou, my NQ thesis would largely be the same thing. They're obviously NQ is a little bit weaker, but if you look at these two things, like, we'll go back and do this. You do this side by side, right? And you pull NQ in here. They're largely the same, right? So I am just, my expectation would be as SP or as ES goes, so does NQ. They're generally pretty correlated, and because of the weighting, not to nerd out, but if you look at like the index itself and what it represents, right? The weighting of tech stocks in SPX from NDX is pretty much very tightly correlated. So you can't really have a huge sell-off in one without the other and vice versa. So if ES tries to recover, unless there's some like really outsized disparity in NQ, for the most part, it's going to follow along with what ES is doing. So based on how I trade, my thesis is going to be pretty much a one-to-one. So like I said before, when I was trying to trade that eval and one-shot it, I took the NQ long thinking we would get this move. I was probably just a little late getting in it, but that was the same idea, is if we get this drift up on ES, NQ will follow. So that would be it. I don't really have a huge difference of opinion on NQ. But I hope this kind of shows you why I do trade NQ with this. Like the other night, guys, when we were trading, if we look left here, these overnight shorts and then the counter longs, like you can still see these are my positions from Friday morning where I stayed up until like 3 a.m. trading. I took these longs on NQ because I was confident that if the structure on ES traded out, I would be able to capture way more points on NQ. So I was happy to trade NQ bigger size there than I was on ES, because if I got the same move on ES, I would have been limited in how many points I captured and how many dollars. So if I traded NQ off that same thesis, I ended up catching, 420 to, what was that, 600? I mean, that's a couple hundred points. Not a bad return on that strategy. So generally speaking, it works out well. Hopefully that answers your question. How do you manage a profitable fly? How do you manage a profitable fly 30 minutes before close when gamma is crazy? The fly, I try to be out of those flies, I'm not going to lie to you, within like the last 15 minutes. if I'm not like looking like I have a really good edge to we're going to finish pretty much on the number, I am out of all except for like a runner or two to try to get the max pay, Randy. So it's just too volatile inside that last 10 minutes, like anything goes. So securing profit going into that last 10 minutes especially is key. If you're holding inside of that, it should really be a runner, right? Like you shouldn't be messing around. And that's where you're hoping like, oh, if it finishes on the number within a point or two, you just have a limit order set. And if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you get whatever it settles at. But that's how I trade those. I try to be out of those well before that period. Because the thing is like if the straddle comes down, like today it was actually pretty low to start. The only reason the straddle has maintained this 20-ish number is because of the volatility of us dropping. But what happens is more often than not, as that straddle comes down, theoretically, if you're within the range, your fly should be appreciating in value to the point where you can 2 or 3x that trade, and you just de-risk and leave your runners to get the max pay. So that is how I would manage that, is like I have very specific trim targets on a fly. I try to make at least double my money, if not 3 times the money. And then if I get the max pay, that's what the runner's for into that kind of final 10-minute period. But the whole point of the fly trade is to bank on time. So like the less time you have, the more you should have made already. And those kind of trades are really easy to invalidate, you know, based on where we are. So like right now, if we don't get here in the next little bit, you know, hour or two, if we're not already kind of moving back up into this 75-55 ES range, you're thinking that this is less likely and this outcome is more likely, right? So you got to kind of start making some judgment calls there. What is the straddle? How much time do we have left? What's more favorable to me? And so on. Yeah, Gordito, it's just a different strat. So like, guys, there's a lot of times where people are like, oh, what are you in? And I put a fly trade on because if I really think we're going to get back towards that, it's a really cheap bet and I can trade futures either direction around it all day long and I don't care. So I still have something on for that thesis, but I can trade futures like completely opposite of my SPX position and don't give a damn, right? That's the benefit of having this information, is it is not only options positioning, but it has the futures influence. So you can literally trade futures around the exact same thesis, but you can bank more on options potentially, you know, using that same data. So that's where it's a really, really strong thing to leverage, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to argue with that plan coming in on the day, if I do say so myself, right? This is just kind of a magnet. We tried to get back to it after the London close, right? We got rid of that kind of pressure. We tried to get a little release valve up there, and then it failed. And we came right back down, and we are kind of, again, the shape naturally, though, if I didn't know that we were kind of weak, is at least this. If you're not under 75, or, you know, the 7450 SPX kind of 7520, it's just the passage of time is saying if you don't have enough juice to sell down into here, you're probably going to chop around in here. So everything is like a little range. This is our little range right now. We've got a 20-point range either side of where we are, right? So scale into the flies. You buy the debit spread first, wait for them moving in your direction, then something. Yeah, Anil, that's a good point. That is something that I also do. I'll play the directional, and then with your last runner from like a call spread or something, is then you sell the other side of it to make the fly. And I actually talked to Gordito about that in the Discord earlier, that like that is something you can do. So if you want the directional bias of, I think we're gonna go this direction, and this is kind of where I would expect us to maybe struggle to get beyond, then you sell to that to make that your fly. That is correct. There are multiple ways. I don't want to bore people with option strategies, because the simple truth is most people watching these streams are here to trade futures. They don't care about options. But I make my money primarily off of options. You know, I like getting paid without having rules. It's just that's my preference. But trading futures is a nice thing on the side, right? So for all you options geeks out there, yes, SPX is my primary profit vehicle. Everything else is icing on the cake on the future side. But I think what kind of, if you guys care to know my color coming in and why I've kind of been like intermediate bearish and able to kind of look for, especially on the overnights, looking for these downside moves, a lot of this was down just to knowing, right? This positioning has been there since Thursday. So when you have that positioning coming in, it's easy to say, until you prove to me you can get over this 75-70 area convincingly, I'm going to keep shorting that. The difference today versus these other days is when we consolidated under that, the market was actually open fully today where it was not on Friday, right? It was just futures. Now we have more activity going in. Getting that break above and kind of holding it into the pre-market told me, yeah, you should absolutely be smart enough to know that we look like we want to go higher. But now, a failure to do anything much higher than that, you know where you're going to come back to. You know where you've been spending time. And based on the structure for 2 overnight sessions, it's obvious where they're going to play some defense, but you also know the risk and what is required to get any extensions deeper. And still today, we have not been able to do it. So really interesting to me that, you know, we seem to want to go higher. There are bets placed that we can get down lower, but for whatever reason, the volatility is just not matching to make that happen. So until that does change, you know, we're just going to assume that we want to spend some time around this area based on this day's structure. What happens tomorrow is for tomorrow, but right now it definitely looks like we are kind of stuck wanting to fight around this kind of 75-70 ES area. Yes, flies are addictive because you can seriously 10 times your money in a hurry. Like my average on that position was like $1, so $100 basically, and I can make $1,000 on a 10 wide just because I was right on the where we might finish. Like, you just get paid on time and being marginally correct. The bigger the range, the more you get paid. Like, I could have taken a 15 wide fly for like $1.80. So $180 of risk to make $1,500 because I was right. I gave myself 15 points of range. Who wouldn't take that bet? Especially if you have the edge of knowing where it is more or less likely to go. So, will the theta now push us to 7,500 order flow permitting? It's less about theta. I mean, like, the whole thing, guys, too, is like understanding that charm is a very passive thing. So if charm is passive, what beats it? Active flow, active participants, market orders, people executing market orders of size, of influence, and then volatility. Those two things will always make the idea of passive flow a moot point. If the dominant flow takes over, that's where you have the benefit of knowing, like, okay, where is my risk area now? If it is a passive buying flow, we should go here. If there is selling, we're already weak. This is where we're going to point to, right? Like, we should want or expect that strong enough selling will be assisted to get us to this area. So having that if-then mindset and the data on your side is what is really powerful about this. The whole thing, Lou, about options is convexity. There is zero convexity in futures. Futures is a fixed price. It's a delta one. You are either moving here or not. That's why I said futures are the video game. Futures are how many points can I collect? And the points don't get, the more points that you capture, the more you get paid. Where options are different. Options have other elements to it that makes it a convexity argument. How do I pay the least amount of money to make the most amount of money in this income? And there are option strategies for all manner of things, like the idea of a calendar spread, right? I can short the near term, but I can long the back end, right? So I get paid on the idea of I'm gonna long the front end and short the back end. I think we're gonna go higher near term, but I think it's gonna fall off and we're gonna sell in a month from now, right? There's an option strategy where that is a better pay than just going long calls. So it's complicated, but it's not. It's just a different profit kind of vehicle. Some people sell options because they know that like there's horny bears right now, and all those people buying puts aren't going to finish in the money, and they're going to have to buy those puts back, sell those puts back, and the people that sold them in the first place are going to make money on the fact that they didn't monetize, right? So there's all sorts of ways to play that. They were strong Vish, but they weren't, right? Because like we had volatility. So if the flow was strong enough, the selling flow was strong enough to push through those strikes, that in and of itself was a sign. Yeah, small time frame changes, like people who offer like 1 minute updates on this market maker positioning, think about how many trades get executed every minute. It's really easy to get lost in that kind of movement because there's so many things flying around. It's really hard to kind of see through all of that noise, in my opinion. So I just stick with the 10-minute updates. I generally don't even look at those. Like I told you guys, I look at when did the market open and what did that structure look like? When the market closed, what changed? When London closes, what changed between those 2 points? And if we're looking right now, this is the positioning from the London close time. And I go back and I say, well, what does the pre-market look like? Outside of this little range getting more negative, like more people are long puts here, the structure is still the same. 75-70, kind of 75 area on ES is still kind of the middle balance point. The structure to the downside, everything here was largely there already in the morning. So none of that has fundamentally altered. So I made a couple bets. If we get stopped out here on this because we sell through, oh well, right? It could still bounce and go right back up. But right now it's easy to see there's just not enough buying flow. We're probably following this path of this arrow where we're going to come back down to this kind of stronger balance at this area. But if volatility starts picking up as we do that, we know there are things lurking down here that can actually lead to a stronger sell-off. But until those things happen and you are in those areas, you have to assume the opposite, right? The passage of time is going to kind of just keep us buoyant. Even here, we could easily dip down and just bounce right back up and just hover around 75.50. Oh well. Yeah, you've just got to think, how many people, especially in the open, right? Why is the open so hard for some people to trade? Things looked long and then all of a sudden it rejected and you were short. People are transacting. They're placing their bets. They're buying and selling. They're doing this stuff rapidly, right? So if you look at the market maker positioning and how it changed every 1 minute, all that is a reflection of other people placing more bets, rapidly. Where every 10 minutes you kind of get a better sense of, well, where did most people change? Where did most people place their bets or not, right? So it's really easy to get lost in that kind of in that data, but it's easier for me to just say pre-market, this is the predominant structure, this is where most people place their bets, what are the expectations around that structure, and then I review it after London because that means there's that many less people active in the market. Asia's gone, Globex is out, London's out, now it's just us, just the New York participants. Things are pretty slow and empty until the last 90 minutes of the day. So what happens between London close and the last 90 minutes of the day is a whole lot of just nothing for the most part, right? That's why you get a lot of rangy chop on those days. If the trend happened, it's likely already over or it continues, but only so much. So the edge in this positioning information is, what decisions can I make between now and the close, now that the morning and London, the first 2 hours of the day are gone, and we're in this middle period. If no one is trading, where are we likely to kind of want to drift to? And then if we get a little help either direction, what are the strongest areas I should target? Where can I manage my risk best? That is kind of the benefit of this in that time period. And that's why I like to play flies and stuff. Do I have a cutoff time when I sell that fly, if not in the money? I mean, if the structure invalidates it, if I see that there's just no potential for me to get back up there, I'm going to cut it. But I also never size so big on flies where I have to worry about it. Like me taking $100 fly is just kind of like almost a lotto position. If I take 5 of them, I'll manage it a little differently. I'll leave just one maybe. but I try not to ever let it go, you know, below like 50% of what I paid. But I try to let the chart tell me when I'm clearly that trade idea has been invalidated completely. So for me, like I said, I would need to see something here in the next hour that we are like flirting with 75.50 on ES here to think that we can still get that drift up. And again, hopefully that makes sense. You know, obviously now for whoever was talking about NQ earlier, NQ is very much moving the same as ES, maybe slightly weaker. But if ES gets a bid and NQ gets a bid, they're likely going to follow the same path. So if we can kind of say generally, I think we should be retesting this area and slightly higher, that is entirely possible to happen on NQ the same way that it is with ES. But yeah. Anyway, guys, any other questions? Anybody got anything they're kind of confused about, or why aren't we selling off harder even though VIX, you know, or why aren't we moving higher even though VIX is kind of dropping a little bit again? Can't make new highs. You know, like the idea of VIX being the complete arbiter of volatility is, you know, kind of misplaced confidence, right? It's a very specific measure. So a lot of people look at VIX. What I actually tend to look at more often than not is I pick like a single strike on the day, and I look at the put skew and the call skew on that specific strike. And I just see, as we're dropping, how is that skew changing? Does it look like we've got more that's telling me we have some extension to the downside? Is volatility getting absorbed or not? That's another way of looking at it. Is the volatility actually getting realized on the day or not? Marlo, my man. It was good. It was weird. The nicer day was Saturday around here. It was like a perfect day to be outside. We went to my friend's place, watched some World Cup, hung out by the pool. And then yesterday was kind of like an overcast, rainy, kind of cool day, just like super chill, nothing crazy. It was my birthday last week. I had another relative with a birthday, so we kind of wrapped it all around Father's Day into a little thing and hung out. And yeah, it was nice. How about you? Did you feel appreciated on Father's Day? I forget how many kids you've got, but 2 is enough for me. They were a handful yesterday, so it was one of those days where I was like, oh, I'm thankful for these guys and being a dad. And the other part was like, God, you're annoying today. Those 2 things can happen at the same time, right? But yeah. I will say, I've been working with a student who is like super horned up on the idea of order flow. And I find myself almost like not trying, but also not having to try too hard to like disprove that theory that a lot of it is noise, right? And this guy is just like not letting it go. So what I ended up doing is I ended up saying like, fine, I'm going to sub to Bookmap, and I'm going to like literally just watch for this whole idea of absorption and exhaustion and volume. And really all it does is just confirm the power of the profile, like where you have expectations of things to happen. And it's really easy to watch this Bookmap stuff. And I can see why people just get absolutely wrecked with it, because they're just expecting things to go to these liquidity points, right? But if you're watching these little balls show up about like where the market orders are relative to the limit orders, some of the dealer positioning doesn't even show up. But guess what does show up? All of a sudden you get the huge smash of like sell orders that come seemingly out of nowhere that weren't represented there. And I think that kind of can tell you why there's power in like certain behaviors at certain places. And I find it interesting. So we'll see what comes out of it. But I've coded a few things. We're doing kind of some data analysis on it. So I can just say, listen, if you're going to use order flow, then, you know, if you're going to layer that in, then, or that's your primary system, here's how you would use the market maker positioning and where to be patient and what to look for to manage your risk, right? Like you have your idea of like, this is confirmation of trapped sellers at this spot. And then you get this like huge reversal or something. I do find it interesting just watching it, right? I'm still new to the platform, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not going to make any declarative statements, but where I think the strongest confluence would be is like using the dealer positioning and having an expectation of like, this is the default behavior you should expect as we move into this price or this area. And here's what you would monitor for to say like, this is either working out or it's not working out in light of that. So we shall see, but I am open to things. But this person is adamant that that is what they trade and how they want to trade, and how can we make those two things work together. So we're gonna work on it. Yeah, Peter, there are some great order flow traders. What I think is funny about it is like, which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? And if you're not using order flow with something that is provable of like, you know, marrying those two things together, like for me, the market maker side of things, I feel like it's probably missing some context, right? So there's probably a lot of their losses could have been avoided altogether if they had that little bit of additional context. So I do think it's interesting. But so far, it's just kind of a really distracting thing. I have this rainbow of shit floating around on my screen. And, you know, I don't see a lot of confluence in certain places. But the one that is interesting is there's like a ton of liquidity sitting right up under where we want to go up here. So, yeah, see what we get. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, Victoria. It's just, and it looks ancient. Like I've got a 4K monitor and somehow this ends up looking like complete ass. I wonder if I can share it over here. Let me see. You guys see this? God, why is it so huge? My God. I've never felt more tech illiterate in my freaking life, let me tell you. Can you guys see that? When I say rainbow of shit, I don't know how much more accurate that could be. Order flow is more, their whole idea is like, where are there, like if you look at these big balls, as I understand it, this is like market bids, right? So like if I'm short, I want to go take their stops out. And then if I see these, you know, these bigger short orders here, I want to go take their stops out. And then like, this is where there's a bunch of limit orders in the market. And does it, you know, do these buyers get rewarded or does the selling absorb? And where's it going to go back to where there's other areas of liquidity, which is like down here. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm not drawing any firm conclusions on it, but it is just, it's interesting because I feel like to me, I'm making the probability bet on, am I seeing what I should be seeing? If I am, I'm placing my trade. If I'm not placing my trade, or I'm taking the counter to that, right? So like we are in no man's land. We are positionally in the market. From a structure perspective, we are literally like 10 points away from getting this move right here activated. If we're up and sniffing around this spot, we are more likely, in my opinion, based on what I see, going to go closer to this area into the close than we are selling off down here. There is just less likelihood of that. And the other potential outcome that is increasingly likely is we do a bunch of this and we finish like that. that is probably your strongest case right now, is to go absolutely nowhere but sideways. I'm betting that we go sideways and then we just get a little bit of buying, and all these people holding puts down here close out. VIX drops even further, which means you drift a little higher, easier. That's what I think, but this is also entirely possible. I'm not discounting anything. My money is on what my plan said, which is if you're not lower and you're not holding there, the balloon's going to come up from underwater eventually, and up you go. So that that's where I'm coming from. Let's see. What does your GEX show that order flow shit of rainbows does? Does not. Is there any likelihood SPX hits 7,600 today? That's between you and God, brother. No. I would put that at like 0.001% chance. I hope you're not long 7,600 calls or something. That would be wild. Yeah, I think the thing with order flow is that it is showing the difference between like where limit orders are placed and where market orders are coming in of bid versus ask. Like, large market buys versus sells, right? That seems to be what I'm getting out of these balls. If you want, 7,500, I would put as much more likely than like 7,600 by far. Yeah, 7,600 is wild. That's not even in the realm of possibility to me. That's like the lowest possible percent chance of happening. But yeah, I just think like if you get any kind of lift at all, if you see volatility dropping, you get a little bit of bidding, it's really easy to see this happen. But I think if it doesn't happen soon, then we'd get this down. Like then you start talking about like 75-20 ES, kind of 15, this 74-50 SPX idea. So I'm just betting on kind of a light lift. Excuse me. But I don't really have much skin in the game. Like I've got this little eval account. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. That SPX trade was very low risk. We'll cut it here in the next hour if it doesn't look like it's doing anything of value. But as far as downside goes, like generally I would have been wanting to short on this kind of a move, or during the London close up here playing this reversion to see can we hold this, and then looking for a rejection of it to go lower to this balance area. So I think the best shorts on the day have come and gone. If you're taking something now, from what I look at from a structure perspective, it's a very risky proposition, because all it would take is a little pop and VIX to drop, right? And you're right back up here. And there's not like a structural, I don't think we go over this, so I'm going to risk these 10 points to try to capture this range. So that is kind of where, if we go to like MES, for example, if I was going to look at this fresh, where we are right now, I'm taking either a really tight stop, like I'm waiting for us to get into here and I'm risking this, maybe 7 points or so, to like best case scenario we sell all the way back down to here. That's something I could jive with. I just feel like we've got enough passive stuff saying that you're likelier to go sideways to up more than you're going to go down. That's just me. Yeah, and I would be careful about like the idea of predicting. It's just more about understanding like what happening would elicit that response from the gamma side, right? But the prediction is based on the if-then relationship, right? Like if you're over this strike, then you can kind of get this move because this should assist you in that range. If you're under this strike, it is selling against you, which makes it easier to take the bet that if you get some additional selling pressure, where would you go? And why is that less likely to extend, and why are you more likely to come back to this strike? There's just things that you start seeing and you understand those relationships. It's a prediction, but it's always predicated on some kind of context, right? So the only reason to me we're not selling is because we don't have enough active selling to overcome the passive buying of all this stuff that's below us that is decaying us up. If you are not down here, all it is doing is actively buying. Market makers right now are buying passively more minis than anyone is selling to drive them lower. It's like cut and dried, plain and simple. That's all that is. So yeah, if we, like, someone just asked about time frames that we use. Like if I was looking at today and I'm on a 15-minute chart, you could say, oh, this is really bearish, right? We're consolidating. But to me, this is just a reflection of what we already know. We got a rejection up here, you got a 15-minute sell if you use that. That was a really clean entry on a sell. Because if you also knew, we'll go back to the pre-market when that was the best kind of positioning info that we had, right? This is pretty decent risk. Like a 10-point stop to capture 20. And then if you got the extension, where are you likely to go, right? You're likely to probably find a balance down here. That's a 5-hour trade. That's a great trade on a 15-minute chart after the open. From the pre-market, you could have looked at this little kind of 3-bar play to say, hey, we're holding this, our biggest support strike on the day. If we go higher, where am I going to go? Oh, this is kind of where the most resistance would be in this range. That was probably a decent little long, right? Yeah, Kamal, I guess I don't know how that wasn't clear by now, but yeah, to answer your question, that is primarily what I'm basing all of my trading off of, whether it's options or futures, is just the idea of how market makers are holding these options positions for themselves and customers and how they have to hedge. If you know where they're if you know where they're positioned and how they have to hedge that with futures, you kind of have a layer of information that most people don't. So you can formulate your risk based on what should happen as you move into those areas and what the counter to that is and what you need to see to prove that out. How can I get only the strike prices every day? I'm willing to pay for it, but don't want to spend hundreds of dollars. I have to spend hundreds of dollars. Josh. What I'm doing is I'm paying for a service that tells me how market makers are positioned. I'm taking those values and I'm dumping them into a little Claude indicator. But you can't get the data without paying for it, my man. It's not mine. I didn't do it. But I pay for the service to get that data to put it on my chart. Yeah, you can either spend, $10,000 or whatever it is to the CME and get that raw data and model it yourself, or you can pay someone a couple $100 a month, $300 a month, and get that information in a nice interface. You don't have to use TradingView for it, right? You can just stare at their interface all day long and then just trade your own chart. I just like to have it here to show people on stream kind of where things are sitting from the pre-market and intraday. I do not, Ray. I know they have Periscope, which a lot of people like, especially if you're an existing customer. Somebody reached out to me about a service called Profitable, and it looks like they have a lot going on there that looks kind of interesting. So if you want to check them out, it's Profitable, but instead of, let me throw it in here. I'll give them a shout just because I think it's interesting. They've got some cool stuff, but I'm not like outright endorsing it, but yeah, me either. One of the guys just reached out and said, hey, take a look at this. And they got some cool stuff. They got like volume profile stuff for those people. They've got options stuff and options flow. They've got some GEX stuff. So there's a bunch of different things out there. The one that I use is VS3D. There's also options depth, spot gamma. Like I said, Unusual Whales has Periscope. So it kind of depends on what you want to trade. Like VS3D is only SPX and VIX, nothing else. I don't trade anything else. Don't have to worry about it, right? I'm ES, NQ, the data is tied to SPX and ES. So I will say that. But your mileage may vary, right? You got to know what your budget is and what you're willing to use and how you're going to use it and what you pay for. So, but yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to give myself a little shout here. Like I said, I've been working with more people, you know, on the mentoring level. So you'll probably see more on that. If you want to work with me, you can find me on Instagram and see me there. Otherwise, I do all of my pre-market plans and kind of the overnight stuff and what I'm looking at and any trade ideas in the Discord. So if you want to join us there, you can. Otherwise, make sure to just keep tuning in here on the stream. You will get all of the sauce for free and kind of learn this step by step if you don't want to pursue the other options. But that's what we're here for, right? Exposing you to new things, giving you some information maybe you didn't even know you wanted. If you want to trade with it, you can. If not, you know, it's just some exposure to what else is out there in the trading world. So I'm happy that you were here with me for any amount of time. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. And after me, you should have Mitch and Lomeli coming up. He is the Project 365 ICT guy, just like I am the Gamma market maker guy. So yeah, again, thank you so much for joining. If you have questions, hit me up in the DMs, Discord, Instagram, wherever you would like to reach me. Otherwise, we will be back at it tomorrow. Good luck, Christian and crew. We'll see you guys later.
Testing. What is up, chat? Testing. What's up, chat? All right, cool. We're good. Happy Monday, chat. How we doing? Raga, blessed, Lomeli, good afternoon. Yes, how we liking the new look, chat? We just got a new little updated look. Lomeli, my guy. Adam, how's it going, chat? Gonna be locking in here for a bit because I do think that I am interested in a long here. Dark, looking good. Victoria, how's it going, Victoria? So yeah, what I'm looking at is a trade back into the 682 level on NQ. So I am long biased, and we came down, we took out discount of the range, low at discount of the range. We're respecting the 1 hour CE, the 5 minute change of state midpoint. We haven't yet got a change in state on the 15 minute, which is kind of what I'm looking at. I want us to hold this general area for me to consider longs. The 5 minute, essentially, I want us to hold this bullish gap here. Sorry, I'm getting straight into it today because I do think that there's potential. So long we hold this and we invert this 5 minute gap, I do see us tapping into the 682 level. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And if we give up essentially these two red lines here, I'm actually gonna flip bearish, given that we couldn't really hold these lows. So right now, currently cash on sidelines waiting for a potential long, see if we get it. If not, then I'm not doing a single thing. Let's see, chat. Let's see. Can only see your face. What about your giant guns, my dog? I'm experimenting with this new look. See if I like it and see if you guys like it. You like the layout? Fire. Yeah, I feel like figured you guys can see the whole chart essentially, right? My whole chart, and just my face isn't that important. Miggy, how's it going, Jennifer? Hey, Captain Cod, my guy. What up? Where's Sam? Yeah, tough morning for me, given that I literally was ticks away from my TP, and I just literally saw a trade that was ticks away from TP, right? This orange line is prior week highs. Literally 8 points away from my 7, whatever. Finger was on the trigger just to see this big candle trade back into my break-even point was around this area. And my stop was at the low. Frustrating morning for me, honestly, as far as execution goes, given that usually I'm not that much of a dip for a tick here, but given that I was copy trading some evals, I had it broken above that level, I would have gotten to the halfway threshold. It is what it is. Frustrating morning, but now we're here. Now we're here in PM. Let's see what we can get. So we just took out this swing low. We are holding this bullish gap here on the 5-minute. Let's see what we can get. I think we can, this would be a little early entry, but if I take a small L here early into the session, I'm okay with it, given that there's still a whole 2 hours left, right? But willing to give this an early shot here if I get an entry model, which the entry model would essentially come in a form of this invert, something like this. Something like that, right? How we doing, chat? Everyone do good this morning? New layout is fire. Fuck yeah. Did you miss Mitch? Yeah, you just missed him. He just ended about 5 minutes ago. But hey, stream is not over. We still got 2 more hours. Are we liking the new layout, chat? Is it better than the old one, or is the old one better? Yo, Logan, my guy. You like it? Hell yeah. Glad we hear, Lomeli. Thank you. My guy, appreciate it, dude. Shit's really working in my head now. I made all the money back that I've invested into prop accounts starting in January, and now it's rinse and repeat. Brother, it's only up from here. You prove to yourself that you can do it once, twice, and I mean, shit, I don't know how many times you've done it, right? But you've proved to yourself that the concept works out. Now it's just a matter of, you should have gotten some confidence now, which I think is the huge benefit when, I guess, turning profitable is the, sure, like the numbers, like getting money out of the markets is the thing, right? But also the what I think would be more important is the confidence that it gives you. It in a way kind of solidifies like the thoughts you were having, like the whole unprofitable journey is a whole bunch of, for me at least, it was a whole bunch of confidence shutdowns, right? It's like, fuck, is this even possible, right? So once you start seeing a little bit of consistency, in form of like payouts, withdrawals, that confidence just naturally comes with it, right? So yeah, what I'm looking for here on NQ is we'll see how the 11 a.m. candle closes. If we can close above this level, right, which is the 4-hour fair value gap, the new week opening gap, I do see prior week lows getting tested, right? Maybe not today, maybe overnight, maybe going into tomorrow, but this big displacement to the downside is kind of what I'm not really liking, which is why I'm only targeting the low-hanging fruit if an entry presents itself, right? Which is that bearish 1-hour gap entry after testing the 1-hour wick CE, right? If we take the swing low to candle open, the middle is where we came back to test. The 15-minute has just been essentially consolidating, right? We created a divergence here after taking out the lows. What area? It was OTE of the range, 0.79 to 0.62 to 0.79 of the higher time frame trend, right? This swing low to swing high. And now we're just holding, right? Holding, we created an internal divergence here, holding that bullish gap. Let's see. Be willing to give this a shot if we close above this here. Let's see. There's what is it? 22 minutes left until the candle closes on the 4-hour. Did we take out the lows over here? So we haven't taken out these relative equal lows. So yeah, looking at a potential long here, although it is a bit early, I'm going based off of the read that I'm getting, that if we wanted to go lower, we should have at this point, but we're holding it, right? So we're holding it. If we respect this 5-minute gap, we're respecting bullish order flow. And then if we invert this 5-minute bearish gap, which is the area that we've been holding right, in this downtrend. I think if we give that up, I think the draw would be that 1 hour gap entry, right? That's kind of after essentially taking out a area of support, I guess, on the higher time frames, which is this swing low, the OTE. We have this 1 minute gap. We have we're holding new week opening gap, right? And let's see. Yeah, the 15-minute essentially would be holding this down candle, right? If you want to call it order block. There's 10 minutes into that candle, so let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. I'm in longs. Whoops. Oh shit. What the fuck did I do? I accidentally went in with, let me get out. I accidentally went in with NQ rather than MNQ. Alright, just got out. But... That's frustrating, man. Yeah, I accidentally went in with NQ rather than MAQ. I took a small little hit, but I re-entered with the right size, so let's see. Targeting that 681. Man, that's fucking frustrating. Gotta check. Let me see. Doing some math. Okay, we're all good now. Man, that was fucking frustrating. I tried to get in with MNQ here, and I took a small little hit on that pullback, right? Because I meant to get in with MNQ. Build me with NQ. It is what it is. It's frustrating though. Yeah, targeting that 681 stop below this low. Again, it is a little bit early of an entry, but I'm willing to give it a shot, as if it does play out, the R to R is favorable. So let's see. What I'm not liking though is these relative equal lows sitting right below us. One thing I'm not liking. The stop is at the swing low. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm fucking bummed out about getting in with NQ. I'm bummed out. That is what it is. Yeah, I'm bummed out just because I gave a little bit of profits away in that little pullback. Fucking annoying. I had switched it over to NQ because the risk was just enough for me to take NQ, but then I switched it back to MNQ. Or I forgot to switch it back to MNQ, which is a stupid fat finger mistake. Journaling my last two trades, by the way. I like the layout. Hell yeah. Yeah, I was messing around with it over, when was it, yesterday? And I wanted to get a full layout of my chart. So I think this is a pretty good setup here that I got going. Difficult trading. I didn't even happen Taylor Swift yourself. Just shake it off. Blake, yeah, it's hard to, because it's fucking, essentially, instead of risking, say, for example, 1R, I'd be risking 1.5R given this fucking stupid mistake. K and Q. Although I am essentially risking less than I would AM, but still it's fucking stupid mistake. Dude, dog, that's happened to every single person in this chat, and if they say it hasn't, it's because it hasn't happened yet. Brother, it's fucking annoying. Yeah, today has just not been my morning, honestly. From being literally a couple ticks away from TP, finger on the trigger, exiting, just to having it reversed, and now this mistake. It is what it is, though. Yeah, pretty centered, but just frustrating overall. Wouldn't be surprised if it makes a new low, then shoots up, but I'm in longs. Is the trade running? Yes, I'm currently in longs. Are you in a trade? Because I'm seeing buys. We've all done it, Lomeli. Yeah, it's fucking, it is what it is. Gee, earlier I went in with 5 minis on the long thinking I was 5 micros either. Fuck. Wait, did it play out or no? Oh, it was the first take, right? So you should have been up, right, Alex? Nah. So my entry here is at 582. My entry here is 582. Around there. I guess I could type it in longs. TP. TP is 682. Stop loss at 555. There it is in longs, and then let's go ahead and type up giveaway soon. I haven't checked what accounts we're giving away, but I think we got a set of new accounts, so that should be fun. Let's make this green. Now let's make this purple. Let's go with the vibe. Let's go with the flow. What's up? What's up, Kenny Tran, my guy? How's it going, brother? Are we in the trade? Yes, I'm currently in a long here. I meant to get in at 6 micros, and well, it was 6 minis. Accidentally full ported and didn't notice until it was gone. Yeah, bro, trust me, I noticed right away. As soon as I got filled, the numbers were huge. I was like, holy shit. Fuck, yeah, it's just, I feel like for me, what makes me go on tilt is mistakes like that. Not technical mistake, not shit where I took a loss, right? That doesn't, like, sure, it's frustrating, but for me, it's more so stuff that is on my end. Like, it's stupid little mistakes that I'm like, what the fuck did I do, right? That's the shit that would makes you go on tilt. So I don't know if you guys saw it on camera, but it was fucking frustrating. It is what it is. We're back. We're back. Hope you had, good, man. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you, brother. It was good, honestly. It was very good. I've been trying to learn, I guess, not learn, but do better at detaching over the weekends, and that's literally just what I did. Yesterday, spent some time with parents, and as it was Father's Day, and yeah. Saturday, what did I do Saturday? I did some work Saturday. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I think as soon as we invert this 5-minute gap, I would feel a lot more comfortable. Let's see if we can start off this week strong with a 4R trade, essentially. If we can close above this red line, this red line is the 15-minute CE order block. So it's, if you take the candle open and close, right, of the last up candle on the 15-minute, We close above it. We're looking good for our overall targets, which is the 681. But if we reject that area, it's no bueno. No bueno. Where's my sign? Where's my logo, man? There we go. So we inverted this 5-minute gap, which is good. We just took out the swing high. Right? So long we close essentially above this red line, which is again the 15-minute order block CE. I think our targets are just, it's a matter of time essentially. Low-key kind of want to go break even here. No, you know what? I'm gonna let it be. I'm trying to mitigate risk just given the stupid essentially half bar that I gave away in that little mistake. Stupid, but trade is cooking. I'm gonna let it do its thing. Sheesh. Should be up about close to 2R here. 2R. Man, fucking cooking, man. Fucking cooking. Happy Monday. Let's see if I didn't call it too soon, but so long we can close above this red line. I think we're looking good. Essentially a 4R trade here. Gonna just let it do its thing. So we rejected that red line, which is again the middle point of the 15-minute order block, right? I should probably name it 15-minute order block, bearish OB midpoint. Let's see, if I go break even, my stop would be roughly below this last down candle. 5-minute would be above the 5-minute gap. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea to go break even. So if you want to go break even, you could, which I think I am, just given the overall fucking issue that I had this morning, chat. So let's see. Yeah, I'm break even now, chat. Full TP is at the 682. So let's see, break even now. DE now. Sheesh, we're fucking pumping. We are pumping, chat. Let's see. Yeah, break even now. Full TP is at 682, chat. For a total of a 4R trade, which is nice. Man, it's still bugging me what I fucking did down here, which is still bugging me. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. So we traded above the 15-minute order block midpoint, which is a very, very good thing. So I think the draw now becomes obviously the 682 level. The 682 level was still my draw, chat. Nice fucking entry. Nice fucking entry, chat. Let's go. Let's fucking go, man. Let's fucking go, man. So as soon as we take out these relative equal highs here on ES, let's see where NQ is at here. Nice fucking trade, chat. Let's fucking go. You should be up about close to 3R trade on this open position here. Yeah, that at peak it was 3R trade. So manage it accordingly. I'm still holding for the full TP. Holding for the full TP here. Whoop whoop. Stream to stream, the long hit. My dog. You in longs, Mitch? Girl saved my eval for us. Should have copied it. I was down 800 left on AG. Yeah, you were NES. Fuck yeah. Are you concerned about a pullback at 2 p.m.? Not necessarily. I'm at break even now, so I'm letting it essentially do its thing. I have some evals that I'm copy trading, which are almost at that 1500 mark. Let's see. My fingers on the trigger on the evals to flatten. And for my actual regular account, I'm holding for full TP. We're at that new week opening gap entry, which is what we're currently rejecting. We have relative equal highs here on ES, which as soon as we take out, more than likely I'll exit my full position here. Let's see. You guys can go ahead and manage this according to how you please, but as you are up 3R on this fucking banger Monday. Let's see, I'm waiting. I'm fingers on the trigger for my evals, which are close to the 1500 mark here. We just inverted this 5-minute gap here on ES, so that's a good thing. I want it to hold ideally if we are going to keep pushing. Man, what I don't like on ES are these relative equal lows here that are sitting right below us. Ideally, let's see. I guess I'm just pointing out what I'm looking at here. We caught a nice banger this morning, chat. Nice fucking trade. I'm not trying to mismanage this as I kind of already did on my entry point. Yeah, it'll be hands off here. Love the new layout. My guy, appreciate you, Mitch. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you guys do scan that little barcode there, as most of you guys are on desktop, it'll take you to the best deals on every single platform. So you guys can go check it out. Even more of a goat. Not my dog. Appreciate you. Go, go, go. You got this. I missed it. I like 1 hour chart for your long bias. Let's see. Ideally, again, want us to reject this order block 1 minute, the 15-minute bearish order block midpoint, and just displace higher. So let's see. I don't want us to trade lower from here. Which if we do, I'm okay with eating the break even, honestly. This is enough wiggle room for me for the overall bias or draw to be invalidated. So if this doesn't play out at the peak, up 3R, which it bugs me, but I'm okay with it. The only thing I'm not really liking, again, are these relative equal lows sitting here on ES. One thing I'm not really fucking with. The 4-hour candle, let's see. The 4-hour candle opens in about 7 seconds here. The 4-hour just opened. That last 4-hour candle is very bearish, essentially. We disrespected this bullish gap. We close around the middle point of the new week opening gap. Let's zoom in on NQ here. Yeah, the draw is still higher for me. Where did my logo go? Where did my trade logo go? Okay, up here. Hello, hello, what up, what up? Spanky, my dog. Any re-entry level, Lomeli? Not for me. I'm currently just letting it do its thing. I love diary from my journal today. So long till not done. Let's see, chat. I guess a retracement to that level would be a nice 4-hour upper wick of that candle, which would be nice, which would be my TP for longs. Man, I don't like that 15-minute closure that we had. We essentially rejected that midpoint. Yeah, today's action has been a little weird, in my opinion. From the morning, coming off couple ticks away from prior week highs. We're essentially bullish and we sold off completely, and we've just been ranging in this range. This overall long here was one idea, basically trying to catch a potential higher low into a higher time frame bearish PD array, which is that hourly gap entry / 15-minute gap entry, right? So if we invert these bearish 1-minute order or fair value gaps, I do think we see continuation. Let's see. Yeah, the follow through today has not, at least for me, right? The morning has not been the greatest. And coming into PM, this takes me out at break even. I'm gonna be a little salty, not gonna lie. So we tapped into that 5-minute bullish BPR. Essentially, that's essentially my line in the sand. This has to hold for my overall bullish thesis to be validated, right? And at that point, if that gives up and takes out my break even, I'm more than happy doing so, given I'm no longer interested in the longs. Yeah, let's see how that plays out. I guess for that person who asked, this would be a add to the position, I guess, if you weren't in it, or if I wasn't in it. We have to get this change in state essentially on the 1-minute Change in state would be nice. Late to the upside. We tapped into the 5-minute gap. Tapped into EQ of the range. So, yeah. Let's see. Sign in. Yeah, so long we hold this 5-minute bullish BPR, I'm chilling. Nice. This is exactly what I wanted to see. So let's see if we get the full-on invert with the change in state, and at that point, the TP would be what I'd be waiting for next at 682. We got that change in state, which is nice. Let's see. Did you move to break even? Yes, I did. I've been break even for a while now. Got moved to pro with FFF. Hell yeah. Let's see. Five minute looking good. 15's looking not the greatest. What should TP level be if on ES? On ES, it's the same level, essentially, that 15-minute swing high, right? At the 559.229, sorry, 7559.25. Although these relative equal highs look very nice here on ES as a form of target. pop up chat now. How'd you calculate the TP? It's basically just premium of the range, and it's a bearish hourly, unfilled bearish hourly fair value gap, right? So that bearish hourly fair value gap, which also lines up with that 15-minute bearish fair value gap, which if we get to that hourly, I do believe we get to that 15-minute, which is a couple ticks up from it. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So all in all, it's about a 4R trade. I did mention that if you were looking to add, a good area would be in that zone. After the 1 minute, got the change in state, which is still very good. So just waiting for now. I do think that if we take out the high again, we should see my overall objective, right? But yeah. Nice. I want to see speed past this bearish series of two down, the series of bearish order blocks or bearish fair value gaps on the 1 minute, right? There's two stacked up together. I want to see both of them invert. I want to see these order blocks get respected. How's ES doing here? ES kind of keeps rejecting that bearish 5-minute gap. Let's see. Yeah, still in this. I moved my break even to about 7, or sorry, I'll just tell you exactly what. Break even's at 582. 582's break even, and TP is still that 682 level. Let's see. It might be cooked. What would you agree Rocket Labs is currently at a fantastic buy price? Rocket Labs. I don't know what Rocket Labs is, to be honest. To be honest, I don't know what that is, man. Let's see. Been pretty locked in here today, chat. Not much looking at chat, but so far still cooking, right? Just took a little pause. Let's see if we hit full TP or stops me out for break even. Regardless, it's a win in my books. A no tilt day is a winning day. I had to remind myself about that this morning. I'm like, fuck, man. It was literally ticks away from TP. And then, yeah. And then coming into PM to fucking fat finger my entry, getting in with NQ rather than MNQ, taking a small little hit, re-entering. Yeah, it's been not my morning, not my day, but overall, nonetheless, very well managed. And if this does hit, not mad. I agree, Jennifer. fucking price action. But still in, right? Still in and letting it do its thing. Trying to be very hands off, although, man, hurts to just close it. It hurts to just close it at 2R, lock in the small little hit, and recover some from the morning AM session is very, very high right now. But nope, gonna let it play out. We can start the week with the 4R banger. What else can we ask for? What else can we ask for, chat? Nice, this is what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. I want to see speed and displacement past the swing high. And we are chilling. Let's see. Man, this type of PA on ES is fucking pissing me off, man. ES is essentially ranging while NQ's trying to create higher highs and higher lows. But ES essentially is the lagging asset here. Holding this bearish gap still, regardless. Yeah, that fucking 30. Look at the 30-minute chat on ES. Shit, that shit's fucking ugly, man. Let's see, let's see. So once we hit that high, do we? Not necessarily. I have a feeling once we take out these swing highs on ES, we're gonna displace higher. Nice, this is exactly what I want to see. Let's see. Exactly what I want to see, chat. We take out the high or no? Not yet. I have a feeling once we take out 7,550 on ES, we're gonna displace higher. Just a weird feeling. Just given that if we do have that breakout and my overall bias is bullish, we should continue past that level at that 550 level. See. 7,570. Is that your target, Mitch? Fuck yeah, glad we're aligned. I want 559, basically 7,560 for myself on ES. That's what I want, which is essentially just a swing high. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can call this out, chat. But so far, really, I'm comfortable with holding this with the stop at break even still. Again, although the urge to close early is fucking peak high right now. Given that I am all up about 3R on this position. 3 times the, okay, so we took out the swing high here. Let's see, I want to see us displace past it with speed and aggression here. Let's see. This action is not helping. Come on, ES. Let's see what ES can do here at this high. The next 15-minute closes in the next 10 minutes. I think so long. Okay, there we go. ES is now displacing a little bit. Let's see. I think so long ES can have a good little peak above this level. I think NQ hits our target, or my target. Which again, if you want to get out of this position at 3R, feel free to do so. I'm going for full TPs. I'm getting my full lick back. Although, man, my finger's been on the trigger. I'm trying hard not to micromanage this, although I'm looking at dynamic R here, and it is very skewed now. But draws are still very I wouldn't say obvious because anything can happen, but I really want that 682 level on NQ. Okay, so ES just took out this swing high. Not yet. Okay, ES took it out. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if ES has that juice to push us higher into 559, and NQ has that juice to push me towards my objective. Okay, I closed out on some evals that I had reached the midway point. And let's see. So I closed out on some evals there at about 3.5 R, which hit the midway point. Now literally just waiting on full TP for my actual position. Let's see if we can get up there. What did I mention, chat? Once we break out of the 550, we should get speed and displacement higher, and that's exactly what we're getting. Let's see. Let's see, chat. Let's see. Let's see. I want that last little push here, chat. Let's see if we can get that last little push. My finger's on the trigger regardless. Fingers on the trigger here at about 3R. Fingers on the trigger for 3/4 of the position. Essentially looking at this 1 minute gap here, I want us to see continuation from that 1 minute gap. For me to, let's see, there's 30 seconds left here on this 1 minute candle. Fingers on the trigger to exit position. Finger is on the trigger, chat. Finger is on the trigger. All right, all out. I'm all out there, chat, at 3R. All out of my position. I'm holding one more eval just to get it to 1500. Which should be hit around the full TP mark. So let's see what we get. But all out of my actual position here at 3R. All out at plus 3R. Banger. Let's fucking go, chat. Fucking banger, chat. What a trade. What a trade. What a fucking trade. Good art. Yeah, the reason I exited was just because of dynamic R, right? Dynamic R shifted, so I made sure to manage myself accordingly. I'm still in one more eval that I'm looking to essentially move that one. Yeah, that one's at break even. Or sorry, I trailed the stop higher, and I'm looking for that full TP as that will get it to about the 1500 mark. So Yeah, all in all though, very, very good position, very good trading, and managed it accordingly, and gave you guys essentially 2 entry points, right? I mentioned that lower one, which is right in the beginning of stream essentially, and I mentioned another trade idea here, right? Which was a continuation. So even if you did exit there, that's a 1.5 R at peak 2 R. If you're still holding 3 R, right? So overall, very, very good management in my opinion. Although that little fucking fat finger shit, I'm still genuinely still pissed about. I'm still mad. I'm still fucking mad. I'm not gonna lie, chat. Go green, probably. What eval? What prop eval you using? I bought a couple of alpha futures accounts. Nice W, broski. My dog, appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. W's in the chat if you caught that. It was a very low activity, or I didn't talk much, I guess, on chat or read chat much, but was managing trade. Hell yeah, Victoria, I know you caught them 0DT QQQ calls. I just know it. I ended up just about 1 R, thank you. My dog, yeah. Fuck yeah, and it's your first time in here, Eric? Hey, Eric. I think you mentioned something like that, right? W, Jessica, you already know. Yeah, all out, chat. I'm all out of this 3R trade. Busy watching Messi. He's playing, or what? Argentina's playing right now? Yeah, low-key glad I got out. Fucking glad I got out. Fucking glad I got out, chat. I would have been emotional. No, bro, been here since day one. Oh shit, my dog. Hell yeah. Dude, nice call, TP. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Although I still see that target getting hit, but yeah, given we took out all these fucking relative equal highs, right? Whenever we're in a range, right? I don't want to be essentially, I don't know. My morning essentially, well, what I was getting at was in range conditions, you don't want to be trading breakouts, right? You want to be fading them. So in theory, right? If trade wants to go lower, it should go lower from this area on ES, right? Now we have this invert that we're still holding, right? I'm still technically bullish on this trade, but yeah, the dynamic R just didn't make sense for me to continue holding, and I'm genuinely happy I took that trade off where I did. Yeah, I'm more than happy with what I did today, honestly. Other than that fucking fat finger mistake here that I don't know, I keep talking about it, but it genuinely bugs me. It bugs me because it messes up my R. So if I was up 3R on this trade, or it was probably closer to 2.5, but let's call it 3R. I gave away close to a little bit over half R here with this. Yeah, it was just stupid. Stupid that it bugs me. It was just a simple technical mistake that as soon as I entered, I saw what I was in. I was in NQ. I was like, fuck. All right. But it is what it is. Overall, very, very happy with execution, and overall happy with how I managed the trade. Yeah, yeah, it was good overall. Can you explain the trade? Due to my time frame, due to my time difference, I'm on Mitch's and Alan's stream mostly. Oh, fire. Yeah, for Mitch's, I pop in here and there, but I genuinely try to detach during my break, so it's hard for me to stay and listen to Mitch. And then for Alan's stream, I pop in occasionally. I probably pop in almost daily for like the first 15 or so minutes. I wouldn't say daily, probably like 2-3 times a week. And yeah, it's close to my bedtime essentially. Mr. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah, a lot of today's been, honestly, Chad, if I'm being real, a very frustrating morning for me. given my overall execution this morning. My execution was spot on in the morning, but I think I was just being a dick for a tick. The trade I took this morning was something like this. I took my entry here and targeting this for, it was about a 2-hour trade, right? And at this point, once it was getting, and my limit order was at the 74 or 73. So literally fucking for this morning on NQ, which on NQ is nothing. 4 points on NQ is literally nothing, right? You'll get that in a second. My finger was on the trigger at this point. I was like, all right, let me just take it. I look away for a moment and it dumps, right? And at this point, I'm like, fuck, right? I'm like, all right, just let it do its thing. No break even, let it do its thing. Once I got stopped out, I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right, this is fucking frustrating. That's the type of week we're having. And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, Chad, I still do see 682 getting hit. I still see that getting hit. I don't like the delivery we're getting. The entry, in my opinion, was good. I really like my entry. Even the continuation play, which I mentioned for those who didn't catch the first trade, which again, everything was done live, and managed to get my exit right around the 650 level. And yeah. All out. Let me delete that. TP. A draw on liquidity for me is 682. 30. Let's make it 30,682. We respected that bullish gap, basically a 5-minute bullish BPR on NQ, or sorry, on ES, which is a bullish fair value gap overlapping by a bearish gap that went invert. We respected it to the fucking tick on the CE, on the midway point. And now we're trading higher. So the draw is still 560 essentially on ES, or 559. And for NQ is still 682. Still 682. Let's see. I got you. I'll explain the trade here in a bit. I got you. Funny, that's where I'm trying to enter for shorts where you're selling. Yeah, that's all it is. Like, the market will always be right. Now, how you perceive the market as what you perceive an entry and exit being is all discretionary. And I think that's the beautiful thing about trading, is that trading is not it's not a science, right? It's essentially an art, as cliche as it sounds, right? You and I can be taking the same entry and exit, but I trade ICT and you trade order flow, right? Or vice versa. Like, for example, on Jake's stream, I kind of skipped forward and see kind of what he was talking about, the trades he took after my session. And he caught a long, we had the same exact stop loss. We had the same exact, or not the same exact entry. We had a similar entry, right? So we were both long bias. I think he took a long somewhere in this range, if I'm not mistaken. His stop loss was at that swing low. I took the long somewhere in this area, and with the stop at the swing low, right? Targeting prior week high. So we had the same exact, almost identical read, just different ways of looking at it, right? But yeah, overall good PM session so far, chat. Good PM session. It's funny, like, I'll pop into other streams, other I guess you could say competitor streams, and people catch 20 points. I'm not talking about our project, right? Other competitor streams, they'll catch 20 points. It's crazy how chat literally goes fucking crazy. Chat goes absurd, right? W trade my guy Armin. How's it going, Armin? Let's get back to the fact that Lomeli uses dish soap as shampoo now. Brother. Yeah, it's funny. My girl was like, why'd you show that on stream? How y'all doing today? Lou, my guy, doing good. Just kind of 3R trade. Fucking banger. Dude, I exited oil on time 2. It's about to go against my TP. Went out. Took about 90% off TP. What made you go long? I got you guys, chat. So overall, what I noticed coming into the market, into PM session, was this. Start new. Wait, let me fast forward actually. At this point in the market, right? If we look at the weekly and the daily, for me, the weekly and the daily, I'm still, let me move that to the side. I'm still bullish, right? I'm still bullish on the weekly. The daily, still bullish, right? We've disrespected the bearish fair value gap here on the daily, respected the bullish gap here on the daily. So the draw for me is still those relative equal highs at the 975 level, right? The 4 hour, we take this swing high, swing low to swing high. We were at OT of the range, 0.62 to 0.79. Where did we bounce off of? Essentially the midway point of that level, of that box. That's about the midway point of where we kind of bounced at. So on the 4 hour, ideally, I'd want us to hold that fair value gap up here, right? But we didn't. So the 4 hour is essentially having a pullback in an uptrend. Still holding the new week opening gap. On NQ, we took out the swing lows, right? In discount of the range, right? In this bullish kind of fair value gap here on NQ. So now that I see that, it's like, I see the displacement that we had in the morning, I'm not going to target the relative equal highs up here, right? All I'm going to target is this bearish, where would price reject, or where would I be short? Where would I look for an entry if I was short, right? That bearish gap entry on the hourly, right? Which is here. But then on the 15-minute, we also have a bearish gap. So you could call this whatever you want, low resistance liquidity run. You could call it whatever you want. But I just see that there's a bearish gap. This is premium of the range, so I don't want to go all the way to premium given that big displacement. I just want to take the low-hanging fruit, which is that level, the 682 on NQ. On ES, on NQ we got divergence with ES. So if you look at ES at that level, right? ES created a potential higher low, while NQ created a lower low. So although the 15-minute ideally is what I would want to wait for a change in trend or a change in structure, I was looking at how the 5-minute was reacting. The 5-minute got a change in state once we broke above this last down candle, right? We've been holding around the 5-minute change in state midpoint, which is what I had drawn out here. So you guys can go back and rewind. Everything was drawn out prior. We got divergence here, internal divergence here with ES again, right? NQ created a potential higher low while ES created a lower low. In my opinion, right, if we were bearish, we rejected this bearish gap. We traded down to an area of support, which is that midway point of that 5-minute change in state, the 1 hour wick CE. So if we look at the 1 hour, right, we take the open and the low, which is that 1 hour wick. We kind of bounced around that area. So in my opinion, if we were bearish, right, after creating this bullish gap here, after respecting my area of quote unquote support, we should have, after inverting that, we should have held. Right? We should have held this at this point. At this point, we should have held. We should have held this to trade lower into the low, right? Let's go on the 1 minute. So what I was looking at prior to stream started, all right, this looks like a good area to essentially long in this little box, which I didn't take, given I was still preparing, I was setting up. I was like, okay, if I could catch an entry somewhere in this range and I kind of take it anticipating the 5-minute gap split, a good draw would be that 682 level, right? That's kind of where my headspace was at, right? And just like that, I waited. This is where I hopped into stream. No, not yet. waited. I was looking for an entry right before stream started, so I was pretty locked in. And at this point, I mentioned I was waiting for an invert 1 minute. We didn't get that. Then I mentioned I was waiting for a change in state. Fat fingered, so I didn't enter. I entered right about here. Right at the, I forgot what time it was exactly, 41. Stop at the low, and the trade essentially played out. I mentioned I wanted to do my best to not exit here, which I think was fine. And I mentioned a re-entry was possible somewhere in this range. After the 1 minute changes state, after the 1 minute rebalances to the 5 minute fair value gap. So everything is repetitive. I hope you guys see this. And what I did do is I took out my whole position essentially at this 1 minute candle closure. At that 1 minute candle closure, I took off my whole position, and it was about a 3R trade, right? And let's see, where are we now? And kind of happy we did. Kind of happy I executed. The reason I also was highly convicted to exit was because ES had taken out the 550 level, which was the area of stacked highs. Basically, ES is essentially range trading, right? This is an ugly ass chart on ES. So me noticing that and paying attention to that and mentioning that if we take out the 550, I'd want to see speed and displacement towards 560. The fact I gave it a chance, my finger was on the trigger. The fact that we didn't, right? The fact that we didn't completely displace led me to believe that we could continue range trading and trade to the opposite end of the extreme, which in this case would be these relative equal lows in this range, right? So at this point, I don't want to be a part of this. I just want to let price do whatever it wants, because everyone pop up the 5 minute chart on ES. Tell me, does that look like high probability conditions, right? The answer is no. I mean, NQ is a whole nother story, right? NQ looks a little bit better in my opinion, but still, regardless, you don't want to be trading chop, whether it's on NQ or on ES. You want both assets to be aligning and be favorable conditions for you to partake in. Now, if one is kind of giving you mixed signals, right, don't take it. Now, that essentially was the trade idea and the trade thesis, the trade thought process before I entered, essentially. Let me see. I'm trying to get my sign back. Where's my sign at? This is the annoying thing about trading view. 1 hour. Gotta like go time frame by time frame. There we go. 15 minute. So yeah, that was the trade idea, trade thesis, trade execution, and you guys saw it all. I was shorting. I'm off. Thanks as always, Lomeli. See you next time. My dog, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for popping in. Fell in slight tilt earlier during the drop after the open. Bro, did not bag in my profits from partials after longing the opening front, fell in old patterns, longing every pullback. Fuck. You know what I've noticed, Lul? I think it's good that you're identifying triggers. Like for me, I mean, at least that's what it sounds like you're doing, right? You said fell into old patterns. Those old patterns for you are certain triggers, I'm assuming, right? That everyone kind of has. For me, I think the biggest tilt-inducive behavior, or not even behavior, conditions are when I'm close to TP and I take a loss. For me, that triggers so much frustration, right? So for me, as soon as I noticed that, I walked away, and it's hard for me to come back and it's hard for me to not take another trade other than me just being completely detached and go away, get out the charts, do what's best for me. I have a whiteboard, right? That every single morning, what I write is the overall objective is no tilt and just to follow your rules, right? So as soon as I took that, I looked at my whiteboard. I'm like, all right, no tilt. Let me just walk away. This Monday, right? But yeah, day candle looks like doji candle pitch was not. I know this kind of dumb, but I'm but I'm trying to lose 500 on my funder so I don't got to make more than 40%, but I keep winning. No, I don't sound dumb. I've done that before. What is your trading hours, sir? My trading hours for stream specifically is 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And I trade my AM session 9:30 to about 11:30. Ideally 9:30 to 11. Auto lock on trader rate? Yeah, honestly, brother, whatever helps you, right? Like for me, I'm genuinely frustrated. Like although like the trade played out, I'm fucking frustrated that I did my whole fat finger execution here, right? Where I did, for those that were early on stream, I got in with 5 NQ rather than 5 NQ across my accounts. And I took a hit on all my accounts. I just fucking, it bugged me. It's frustrating, right? It's not that like I still deal with certain, I guess, emotions, right? And for me, like a technical error just like that kind of, it ticks me off. But it is what it is. I managed to catch a good winning trade after the fact. But I guess what bugs me mentally is the fact that if this was a red trade, the winning trade that we took, if that was a red trade, I think that it would have bugged me a lot more, right? Maybe I would have taken another potential. Maybe I still would have been holding, right? Or no, I take that back. I exited. But maybe I still would have been holding this position if I didn't exit, right? And say I took a loss, I probably would have been hunting for another trade. And I would have walked away after 2 losers, but it's just kind of the thought process of what I'm trying to explain to you guys exactly what causes tilt, right? And at different levels and different stages, I've realized that tilt still shows up, but in different ways. So for me, tilt can just be taking a second trade that isn't really within my system, but I just take it, but I understand that that's it, that's my last trade, and I walk away. Right? For me, that is tilt most days. Most days, tilt is just taking an extra trade out of either boredom, frustration, and I managed to walk away. Whereas before, tilt would be, I would still take that trade, and then I'd take another one, and another one, and the next thing I know, I've taken 2 hours pass by, and it's 3 hours into market, and I'm all over the place, right? So tilt emotions are still gonna happen. They're still gonna come, but it's just a matter of making that C game a little bit better every single day. If you can do that, you're winning. Perhaps another entry forming? No, that's it for me as far as like for now. Do the rake method. Go on trader rate, hit reverse position, lose it with commissions. Just keep hitting reverse until loss where you want. I'm gonna erase all this chat. Let me clean up, yes, remove them. Or actually, let me copy this. Copy. Yes. And give me some clean charts, chat. All out. Of longs. And let's see. Let me put up the window for the trade we took. What trade was it? Let me see. Right there. That was a trade we took, or I took. And now the draw for me is technically still that 682 level. So I just cleaned up the charts to make it look cleaner. But even then, I'm not liking how price is being delivered, right? We took out, again, that low and discount of the range, right? Of this swing high and swing low. We're sitting around OTE inside a bullish fair value gap on the hourly. The 4 hour is We essentially tapped the new week opening gap, or the new week opening print, sorry. And let's see. Change the status still up here. We did reject about the midway point of that 15-minute order block. We came back to, let's see. How's a 5-minute looking? We're still essentially respecting this bullish 5-minute gap. Where we came back down to retest. Minute, 1 minute. How's the 1 minute? 1 minute has a bullish BPR here, essentially. Kind of what we came down to test, right? A bearish gap overlapped by a bullish gap. Yeah. Right? So it's like that. So long we can hold this area, I do think that draw is higher. But so as soon as we give up this low, essentially, I do see lower prices trading. So we're in this weird range where I'm happy with my execution. I'm happy with my 3R for PM session. And yeah, just cleaned up charts and I guess doing a whole reanalysis here. We just tapped into the bearish 5-minute BPR. So let's see what happens. If price wants to reverse, it should do so from here. As far as a new entry. Am I taking something? No. 1 second, chat. 1 second. I'm back. Let's see. Let's pop up chat here. Talk about the. When is the days and times do you trade again? I trade on basically every day, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Yo, Methodic, how's it going, brother? Hope you had a good weekend, my guy. We just caught a little, a nice longs. Buy 2 to 5 macros and just keep hitting the reverse button. It'll eat you up in commissions alone. It's funny. It's, you know, it's funny, chat. The fact that whenever you want to lose money, you keep making money. Yo, G, check my DMs after the stream once. I got you, brother. I got you. Yo, chat, how we liking the layout? Let me see. Start, quick little poll here. Old layout, new layout. Which layout? We are running a giveaway here soon, chat. Let's see. Kind of curious. Old layout or new layout is better, chat? Go ahead and vote. I would love to think that the new layout is better, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of been experimenting, but I do love about the new layout is the full chart. I think, am I wrong, chat, or is the new chart, or is the full chart way better? Got the lows. Let's see. So yeah, chat, look at this. We took out the relative equal lows here on ES. Freaking fire execution in my end. Fire execution, fire read. Now I'm looking at a potential stab for on this second trade would simply be on evals, but also lower higher quality. It'd be lower quality. We did tap into that bearish 30-minute fair value gap, and we're displacing right below it. We're at the lower end of the range. We are still tapping that essentially the hourly rejection block here. The premium discount. Let's see where we are. Premium discount. We are at, for sure, at discount. How many minutes? There's 4 minutes left into that new 5-minute candle. So if this 5-minute candle can turn bullish, maybe get a 1-minute invert. I'd be willing to try this on an eval. Yeah, I locked it in on my accounts. A nice 3R trade. Now from here on forward, it'd simply be evals. I want to make that known. I want to make that very well known. Let's see, and pull. Biceps crew would be sad. So yeah, it seems like about 80% likes the new layout. Old chart is way better, larger on screen. I think it also depends on what device you're watching from, because if you're looking on like a computer or like a PC or a tablet or TV, this is better, I guess. But the other what are you watching stream from? Let's see, let's make a second poll and that's it, chat. Computer, TV, I don't know, iPad or phone. Let's see. Just one more poll here and then we'll run the giveaway. Where are you watching stream from? Computer, TV, iPad, or iPhone? I'm genuinely curious because it'll give me a lot of insight as to what layout is better, I guess. Right? Let's see, let me see. There we go. Is this better, chat? My computer, let's see, it looks the look is sleek, and I agree, it looks a bit small. PC game. My computer is linked also to my TV, so I use both computer and TV. World Cup on TV, watching you on my iPhone at the same time, gotta manage. Gotta have the multiple screen setups. People trading from phone ain't serious. Yeah, it seems to be like most people are watching from computer an iPad. So 70% are watching from a, I guess you could say a larger device. About 30% are watching from phone. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Let's see. Make my camera slightly bigger. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Hard to watch from anything but my phone while I work. Messi, did Messi score or what? Let's see, chat. The 12 p.m. candle just opened. Let's see if we can, yeah, that closure for ES is very bearish, which I kind of wouldn't want to be trading against. Yeah, hands off for now, honestly. I'm not going to try to push this. I am up a little bit under 3R. And that's that. 44 votes. So there's 67, a little bit over 72%. 72% of you guys are watching from a bigger device. So I guess that helps, right, chat? With watching from a, unless I kind of zoom in for you guys. Something like this. As I agree, like if I'm very zoomed out, it is hard to see on a phone or any device in general, but very tempted to take this on an eval. Yeah, I'm not liking how it looks though on the 15-minute. Yeah, I'm gonna just be hands off. Hands off here. This is one of those things where my draw is still higher, but I'm not liking the price action that we're getting intraday. I'm not liking the price action that we're getting currently, right? Intraday. Meaning I'm bullish basically on the weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. But that last 1 hour close is throwing me off. 30-minute, 15-minute. We just took out a low at discount of the range. Still holding, kind of still holding the bullish BPR. So let's see how that would have played out. Should I take it on evals, chat? Nah. Where's ES at here currently? ES. Yeah, if I did take it, it would have been there, but I'm not going to. Just because let's see. Again, it looks good on the 4 hour and even the 1 hour. I just don't like the range that we're getting. And you could argue that we are at the lower end of the range, which is good. But that displacement we had away from the 30-minute gap entry is kind of what's making me hesitate here, right? If I did take it, I'd essentially go break even after this bearish gap entry on the 15-minute taps. I still have an option that, or not an option, opportunity to take it on evals. Like I mentioned, only would be on evals. This trade was on regular accounts and it played out. Fingers on the trigger, but no. We did come back down to test the 5-minute order block. Swing low. Yeah, not going to. Not gonna push it. Yeah, I'm not liking the I'm liking the higher time frames, like I said, but I'm not liking the intraday action here. Meaning the 15-minute, the 5-minute. I'm not liking it. Ideally, for that draw to get hit, I ideally would have wanted this general area, that 5-minute gap, to hold, or even like this swing low to hold. But I just don't like the closures here on the 15-minute and 5-minute. It looks like a pause to head lower. 58 votes. 50. Yeah, it's about this, about the 70, 72. We could call it 70. So about 3/4 of chat watches from a bigger device, which is good to see. Right? Good to see. Do you always target 1 to 3? No, not always. It depends on what the chart gives me. If the chart gives me 1 to 3, I'll take it. If the chart gives me 1 to 1, I'll take it. Don't like shorts here? No. Yeah, I don't love price action right now. You're shorting on paper? Fuck yeah, test your conviction, right? If you're convicted shorts, try it out. Let's see, Streamlabs. Let's run the giveaway, chat, and hope you guys caught some banger longs. Bots, giveaways. I'm actually curious. Yeah, looks good, but that border is gone. Still looks. You see what accounts we got today. Let me see. Let me see what accounts we got for today, chat. We have Alpha Futures 50 0 accounts. So let's go ahead and run a 50K account giveaway here. Okay, 5 minutes, exclamation point entry, and it'll lock you in for a giveaway. Let's see, run it up, chat. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, chat. Okay, let's see. Closing up Discord here. Sorry, I got caught up reading some messages on Discord. On the host's channel chat. Let's see. Enter away, chat. A couple more minutes, and we will run the run the giveaway. Let's see. Yeah, something tells me that draw is still going to be higher. So long this level holds, essentially, that 6 or 5, 6, 5, 5, 6 level holds, I think the draw is still 682. But it has to hold, which is literally last line in the sand, right? We have low of day on ES incoming, couple ticks away. We'll see what we can get. 2 minutes left on the giveaway. Yeah, it looks like price wants to lower as of now. If it does, I'm okay with it. Cut a nice banger. So there's about, let's see, about a minute and 30 seconds left on the giveaway, chat. Minute and 30 seconds. I always do this to myself. I get a coffee first thing stream starts and it's cold as fuck, and I always end up drinking it for the most part after stream ends, but it's hella cold. Man, this looks very good, but I'm fighting the urge to take it on evals as there's 3 minutes left on that 5-minute bar. If I do try it again, it's simply going to be on evals. This is a very, very low probability trade. If I were to classify it, it'd be a C setup at most. Yeah, honestly, just me saying that, I'm not even going to take it. I'm literally trying to take it just for streams and to get this other eval up to the 1500 mark. But I'm not going to. All right, so the giveaway has now been closed. I hope everyone got to enter. Yeah, you can go ahead and stop entering. Giveaway is closed. Yeah, the overall long thesis here is still that my draw is still the 682, but I'm not liking the way price is aligning, right? ES is literally almost at the low of day. I'm essentially, I wouldn't say fighting the trend, but I just don't like the way price is delivering. NQ is holding a little bit better, right? Holding what this could be a potential higher low, but even the delivery is sloppy, right? For me, so long we hold that last down candle of the up move. Last down candle for the up move. Right? I'm still technically bullish towards the draw. So long that holds, I'd want to see higher prices, which is what's enticing me to take a stab at least with evals. But kind of what I'm reading, I guess. I'm walking you guys through what I'm thinking. All right, so let's see. Yeah, no trade is sometimes better than taking a trade W. Yeah, I agree. I'm all done with my executing, I close down trade sync, or I close down all my execution. All I have is a eval open. I guess trying to get a good start on the week as far as evals go, but yeah, very low probability. Giveaway time. Let's go, chat. So the giveaway winner here is let's see, pick winner. Elias. Are you on here? Elias El Nasser. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. Are you on here? I don't know if your name is Elias, or Ali, or said Nasser. Are you in here? Bro's probably listening to his name being butchered. He's like, who's that? My Triple Chat, it says Elias Ali Al-Sid Nasser. I'll give you another minute or 30 seconds or so to pop in. Start a countdown? I got you. $30 seconds. Brother, are you in here? 30 seconds. Ali, are you in here, brother? Yeah, I'm giving him a couple seconds to did the timer pause? Oh no, 8 seconds. Elias, I'm assuming it's Elias, right? All right, I guess he's not in here. Chat, would you guys be mad if he pops in right now? Like, hey, I'm here. Elias Sanders, the Nasser 3916. Elias at Nasser 3916. Nope. Last call. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do another one. Respin. I got you. Ready? I'd be mad at myself. I know. All right. You know what's funny, chat? Look, all right, ready? Let's do another one. Shit. This. New winner is OC6 1136. OC6 1136. Are you on here? Oh, there we go. Hey, my guy, have you won before? First time I've ever won. Fire. I'm glad you won, brother. Lomeli. DM me on Instagram at Lomeli Trades. And I got you with an account. It's a 50K, I believe, Alpha Futures 50K zero account. First time ever. You said first time ever won something? Congratulations. Never on any streams. Got you. Yeah, so fire, brother. Just DM me and I got you with an account. DM me and I got you as soon as I hop off, which I should be hopping off here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Congrats, my guy. Times to full point. It's your lucky day. Matter of fact, if you DM me right now, I got you with the code. Literally on stream. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if towards the end of stream we hit 682. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, sir. Congrats, congrats. Let's see. Yeah, DM me on Instagram, brother. I have yet to receive your message. That sent DM. Haven't received anything. 8 and 6. 8 and 6. It should be from 8 and 6. From 8 and 6. Yeah, haven't received anything, my guy. You sure you DM my Instagram? Maybe fake account. Brother, you DM'd it to a fake account? It's Lomeli Trades, my guy. Lomeli Trades, Lomeli Trades. You hit the link on here on the Streamlabs, right above you. I sent it again. You should be able to link it to it. Some random dude got a DM demanding a free prop. Bro's gonna open it like, what the fuck? Right now, I'm not liking price action. I'm on the sidelines, but I think if this purple box holds for me, I do think that 682 level would get hit. Oh, got you, brother. Finally, my dog. I got your DM, brother. Brother, got it. I got you with the code here once I hop off stream. No, I got you, my guy. Let me reply to you once I hop off. I got you. Yeah, chat. Fire stream today. Fire 3R stream. Essentially caught the only real nice move in my opinion that we could have gotten, and I managed it well. I think I managed it pretty well for about a 3R stream or 3R trade on stream, and yeah. Again, my morning take. Today was just frustrating as a whole. I think I shouldn't have been a dick for a tick. Took my whole position off, called it a day. Would have been happy. Would have been very happy at today's execution. And then today, just a fat finger mistake, getting an NQ rather than MNQ, and seeing this reverse essentially. Yeah, overall, very happy with my overall execution today, chat. If it hits 510-ish, you can expect longs, but gotta wait. 510-ish. Yeah, this action is not very favorable. I think today's price action, it's also Monday, right? Mondays typically tend to be a little bit slower, a little bit more rangy from my experience. But I do think that if you didn't catch nice longs this morning, I think the shorts were a bit difficult to catch in my opinion. And even catching some sort of continuation down here after taking out London lows wasn't that high of a quality setup. So today, if you're cash, if you're green, you're break even, or even small red, I think today was a good day to do so. I managed to catch a very, very good trade, which was just throughout the whole trade, I was very frustrated with my management here, and I was still carrying over some frustration from my morning session. I still stayed on charts. I saw this whole move happen, didn't take it to the downside, and but yeah, overall, can't be mad, right? A no tilt day is a very good day. We almost took longs at 9:45, but didn't like the equal lows in the morning. 9:45 would be 6:45. Yeah, and even if I was looking at these as well, but I didn't like it. But in hindsight, was it the good? There was a 1 hour gap fill, I believe. There's a level before that 1 hour gap fill here, which was a level right before it. Let's see. So these relative equal lows, sure, we got SMT with we got divergence with ES, however. So at that time of the candle closure after this 1 minute invert, which I would have was the trade, I guess, that I perhaps wait, where is it at? No, it was this one actually. I'm tripping. There, stop there, targeting that 1 hour gap entry for a 101. Didn't take this. I also look at the candle closures. So if you look at the candle closures here, right, by the 15 minute was essentially trading into the order block. It was looking green. We traded down into a 30-minute fair value gap. The 1 hour had already rebalanced down into the order block down here, right? So we did all that, and I missed that first initial trade here because I went to go get some coffee. And typically don't really like to trade the first 5 minutes, but this was a decent setup, right? Tapped into that level, and then after that level got hit, the next level was prior week high, right? But this time I was looking for a long in this area. Didn't like the risk to reward at this point, so I waited for some sort of pullback into that bullish BPR. Took it after the 1 minute inversion, right? And I was targeting the prior week high, which again, you guys know we didn't quite get to. I was being a dick for a fucking tick, right? Who caught longs this morning? I'm curious. Genuinely curious. Who managed to you? Okay. Carla, Goat, or Gat. Who else? Who else caught longs? Were you guys? If you guys did catch longs, were you guys green? Into highs. Okay, fire. Who else? Who else? Who found today's action tricky? Did anyone? Fire, Carl. Hell yeah. Me, but did not close. Oh, brother, me and you same. I texted Jake after my session, and he was like, he replied with "fuck today's action." Had me dying. I journaled that second long one as well, missed trade. Yeah, I think it was a very good trade. The one I took, right? OC6. Yeah, okay, yeah. That trade was, in my opinion, the best trade, but fuck, it's unfortunately that the target didn't get hit. I think hindsight, I think hindsight, it was a very, very good trade. Hindsight. Even this trade I missed, because it's been already the last month. I've missed 2 trades because of going to get coffee, so I should probably have my coffee ready before the session begins. But yeah, this trade was good. This trade was good in my opinion, even if I just set and forget it, right? Yeah, regardless, if it was a loss, whatever, it was a good trade in my books. Anything thereafter, in my opinion, wasn't good, right? Yeah. Long short again, late on my stream from long shorts, again, late on stream from me into yours. Fun day. Yeah, exactly, brother. There's only so much we can do in this type of environment, and I feel like banking at 3R in this condition, in my opinion, is very well. Yeah, chat, that's basically it for me. I'm all done here. I'm gonna go and essentially fuck off, get off the screens. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. For those who stayed on for most of the stream, appreciate you guys tons. Stay tuned for Wrong. Wrong will be live here in a couple hours. What is it, 7 p.m. Eastern time? So stay tuned for Wrong, and Azeng thereafter for tonight, and the cycle continues with Jake in the morning. Disco, appreciate you. So yeah, fucking appreciate you guys for watching. A little weird session because I was, for the most part, not really interactive with chat today. I was kind of more locked in, which, yeah, I guess sorry for not keeping up with chat today, but we were a little bit more locked in. How much do you risk per trade? My NQ is so heavy. What do you mean that your NQ is so heavy? Size down, Aaron, to MNQ. Yeah, chat, that's basically it for me. I'll see you guys in tomorrow, right? Same time as always. Lou, see you later, brother. Thank you guys for watching.